This project we're about to talk about is helping companies solve a $48 billion problem. Today we're going to be talking about the VTHO token and the VeChain ecosystem. Is it just me, or does VTHO sound like something from Phase 4 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe? Before we dive in and talk about VTHO, we need to do a quick rundown on the VeChain ecosystem and the VET token. Let's do this as quickly and painlessly as possible so we can move on and get to the good stuff. VeChain is a public blockchain that's focused on helping businesses strengthen their supply chain and to help reduce the impact of lost shipment. And those lost shipments have a massive impact. We're talking about $48 billion. Keep in mind, that's larger than the market cap of most of the actual crypto projects that we talk about here on FUD Fighters. Blockchain is amazing for loss prevention because remember, it's immutable. That means it can be altered or changed after the fact. Case in point, if you've been watching my channel recently, you know that I'm crazy bullish on Cardano NFTs. So I had a friend who I talked to buying a couple of Cardano NFTs just to get in before the rush, and he went in and ended up buying an NFT that he didn't receive. So I was able to go in and go full blockchain detective with just minimal information like the policy ID and some of the addresses of his wallets and other wallets there as well. And we actually found that NFT within a couple of hours of doing a little bit of blockchain detective work. Blockchain detective, that sounds like a great series idea. And that NFT wasn't cheap at all. But just imagine if it would have been a Louis bag, or wait, are Louis bags a thing anymore? I think it's all about the Birkin bags now, right? But if there had been an expensive Birkin bag and it needed to be tracked, do you think companies would pay money for a project like VeChain that can actually help them track down these lost items? Keep in mind, if you've seen the thumbnail, one of those bags is worth like 50,000 US dollars. So this is very, very expensive inventory. And we're just talking about bags. Remember, in a second, we're going to get to the partnerships and you will see some of the companies that they're partnered with. And there's even more high value things that VeChain is tracking throughout the supply chain for these companies. So the way that VeChain actually does this is that they use a BaaS model. So that is blockchain as a service. So if you're signed up to any like website hosting service or even Netflix to some extent, that's like software as a service. This is a blockchain as a service business model, and it's called the VeChain toolchain. The VeChain toolchain. Say that 5 times fast. And what they're actually doing is just licensing out this software. On the back end, is actually ran and managed by the blockchain, so it's a lot more efficient at going in and tracking down these lost items. And the way they're doing that is pretty simple and very straightforward. All they're doing is using NFC or RFID tags to track these items. So if you guys know about air tags or even tiles, that's a simple way to track something. But if you think about RFID tag, they're normally about this big and you can put them on larger pallets and containers. I became very familiar with those throughout my time in the military when we put RFID tags on huge pallets and things like that we're shipping into and out of Iraq and Afghanistan. You have the RFID or NFC tracker, you have the front end system that's like any other supply chain management software, and then you have the back end powered by the VeChain toolchain. And this is where VTHO comes in. Remember, everything on that VeChain toolchain and the VeChain ecosystem is powered by the VTHO utility or energy token. All right, time to deliver the goods. You clicked on the VTHO video after all. Let's break it down. Like I stated before, VTHO is simply that energy or utility token that you use on the VeChain ecosystem. So in order to do anything on the VeChain ecosystem, you need those VTHO tokens. Let's break it down real quick with an example. So McDonald's is actually a partner of VeChain. More on partnerships later in the video. Say that you work at McDonald's and you're in charge of ordering patties for hamburgers from McDonald's and you're tracking those through the supply chain. But hey, you guys got a new product coming out. You have that spicy chicken sandwich coming online to compete with the Popeyes chicken sandwich. So you need to actually add that new SKU into the system, and that SKU is going to be added by deploying a smart contract. If you don't know what a smart contract is, click this video right here or here. I never know where it is. But if you don't know what that is, there's a video up there in the corner somewhere for you to have a look at. But you get that smart contract deployed to add in your new item onto that VeChain toolchain. But in order to do that, you actually need to use some of VTHO tokens. So the way that it actually works is that whenever you work on the VeChain ecosystem, you will hold some VET tokens. And if you hold a VET token, you actually automatically over time earn VTHO tokens. So if you want to go ahead and add that spicy chicken sandwich to your inventory tracking list, you're going to need to use some of those VTHO tokens. You may not have enough, so then you're going to have to buy them off the open market from people like you. And that's what makes it very interesting. So it's not just a normal supply chain system, it's a system where they use these VTHO tokens like reward points, where you actually need to top them up in order to actually function and use the VChain toolchain system. This is an absolutely brilliant business model because it constantly puts buying pressure on the VTHO tokens because organizations need to have them in order to actually deploy smart contracts and track things throughout the supply chain. So I can just think of these large companies that they're partnering with going in and buying a huge bag of VTHO tokens when they know they are going to add more SKUs or track more items through the supply chain. So this is a very unique way of adding buying pressure to a token and making sure that it always remains valuable. And that's good news for people like me and you, because they're going to have to buy those VTHO and VET tokens from off the open market, which is going to help us out a lot and also keep liquidity in the marketplace. Speaking of you, I know without a doubt that my purpose here on earth is to lead, educate, and inspire people full time. So if you're digging the content and picking up what I'm putting down, do me a favor and click on some of the links below to find out the different ways that you can help support the channel. Also, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. And while you're down there in the comments, why don't you go ahead and just start an argument or two. We love free entertainment around here. All right, let's talk about the governance model for VTHO over on Asgard. Their governance model is a proof of stake model called proof of authority. All this really means is that you got to have skin in the game in order to run one of their 101 nodes. And when I'm talking about skin in the game, I'm talking about 25 million VET tokens before you can run one of those consensus nodes. And that equals up to about, let me check my calculations down here. $3.1 cool million in VET tokens. So with that being said, most of those 101 consensus nodes are run by large organizations or big ballers. And that actually makes sense because it actually was started as a B2B blockchain solution. And just now with Vechain 2.0, they're starting to branch into DeFi and NFTs and more of the consumer-based things so they can reach out to people like you and I. Yeah, I don't know who's in charge for acquiring new partnerships for the Vechain ecosystem, but somebody please give this person a raise. On the consumer goods side, Vechain is partnering with Walmart, yeah, that Walmart, like there's any other one, LVMH, which is the parent company for Louis Vuitton, or is it Louis Vuitton? I don't know, and a bunch of other fancy companies whose names that I can't pronounce. DHL, Amazon Web Services, H&M, and major telecoms like Docomo in Japan. The list goes on and on. It seems like these businesses are very interested in partnering with solutions that help them preserve their capital. Go figure. Also, they recently partnered with Simplex, which is just a fiat on-ramp that allows you to use your dirty fiat currency to invest in crypto assets. It's a sort of on-ramp for noobs to get into crypto and onto Vechain 2.0. That's a direct play into attracting more newer consumers into the crypto world to branch out from that B2B model to a B2C model to actually get in touch with more customers like you and I. And with all those partnerships and practical use cases for businesses, Vechain and its native tokens are never short on possible catalysts. Case in point, I mentioned before they're partnering with AWS, that's Amazon Web Services. Keep in mind, Amazon Web Services is actually Amazon's biggest moneymaker ahead of the consumer side of things. So most of your cloud-based services, like your iClouds and your Dropbox and a lot of those, have some integration with AWS, which is super cool to me. What Vechain doesn't have is the monster Amazon distribution system. And every time that a rumor comes out that says that, hey, Vechain may be partnering with Amazon to help them out with distribution, the price shoots up. Anytime you see some of that news, it may be a good time to jump in and look at the charts in a trade. Not financial advice, just giving you a possible catalyst. But in my opinion, this latest price run that the VTHO token has had is really due to Vechain 2.0, which is looking to branch out into the consumer side of things and away from businesses as much, so they can have more of a broad appeal and just grab those people and pull them in and just want to jump on, play with some DeFi a little bit, and maybe just buy some Vpunks on the Vechain 2.0 system. I'll leave a link down below to Vechain World to show some of the projects that they're working on that I'm excited about. If you're one of those people who want to get in before the masses on cool projects like NFTs, click this video above. This is your friendly neighborhood FUD fighter, Michael T. Ragland, signing off. Peace.